All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's development stream where I'll be working on Drupal readiness. So this will involve working on tools to help you get from Drupal 8 to Drupal 9 and also preparing for Drupal 9 to Drupal 10 next year. This contribution stream is sponsored by Palantir.net, a remote first agile company that gives back to the Drupal project and community. This is, I believe, stream 14 that they have sponsored, so I appreciate that they sponsor my time to work on Drupal Rector, phpstan-drupal, and upgrade status. It's awesome when organizations give back to the community like that. If you are looking for a job, they have a job opening for a Drupal engineer. To learn more and apply, go to their website at www.palantir.net. I'm going to apologize up front if I sound like garbage. That's because I have a sinus thing going on that has just made me feel like crap and have a major headache. So I have dark mode turned on. I know I'm one of the few developers that has light mode for my IDE, but everything but with my headache. This is the first time I had the lights on in my office for the past 2 days that I had dark mode on to just help with all the nonsense. But it's not going to stop me from getting some work done. So to start, there's 2 tasks I want to work on. Let's get those pulled up. So I have this patch or this pull request for Drupal Rector that scopes assert legacy trait rectors based on declaring class. The idea is to make it be more efficient and have less random side effects. Oh, it's neat. GitHub actually highlights your username. So I want to work on this because we're having some failures in the functional tests where if we go to the functional test failure, you can see it's not actually changing things where we expect it to. So we expect this get session and still using the deprecated method. And the functional tests, which are also really hard to run locally. Well, same season. Yeah, GitHub is a dark mode too. I had it turned on. What feature preview? No. Ooh. Oh, GitHub I'm gonna enable that. Where's the... Oh, it's probably in settings, and I'm not even going to go to that because I'll expose something that I shouldn't on my stream. Actually, let's do new. Hold on, I'm going to try to fix that real quick. I'm just glad it's nothing serious because our son had a, well, I mean, everybody's school does it, where there's a, somebody had COVID and close contact, but there's like 3 kids and one of them had come over. Luckily no one's like sick, but he's like been quarantining at home, and I went like a year and a half without getting sick. And then the kids went back to in school, which I'm glad. It's good that they're in school, but now I'm sick, and I really appreciated not being sick. Appearance. Oh, here we go. So for those who are curious, you go to your account and then appearance and theme mode sync with system. There we go. That's all I had to do was make sure they'll sync with system. And now I've got dark mode GitHub. All right, my eyes feel better. All right, I'm gonna get started on this. I was gonna work on the phpstan-drupal one first, but that is already kind of broken. And well, not broken. It's just the features don't exist. But with Drupal Rector, we have these rules in place already, and we don't have the scoping. So I want to get that scoping in place when people start running these and make sure that everything is hunky-dory. So git rebase, upstream main. Let's do a push. Let's check out our branch and rebase against main. Do a push F. And let's go to this. All right. So it is get raw content test. So in fixtures, D9, test, functional, get raw content. Let's look at the updates. And we'll do these side by side. So yeah, so get raw content is supposed to be replaced with get session, get page, get content. Now let's look at our tests. I started writing tests for these, but then also just writing tests became so cumbersome that I stopped. And look at, stop writing tests, unit tests, and the code is broken. So let's see. So let's do rector. We'll go to get content rector. Or is it get raw content rector? So can I see if I can get these windows arranged decently? All right, probably don't need it to be split this much, but I want to try to keep my context going. So get declaring source fixes get declaring source is functional test assert legacy trait. Which is where it should be from. Assert legacy test, get raw content. Oh, maybe because I didn't flush out the stub. Well, let's go to get lab on Drupal.org. And we need to go to 9.0 and look up function. That's not what I wanted. Function get raw content. So yeah, so this is one reason why I had to have it scoped. Because you can see here that there is two functions. One's deprecated, the one for functional test, but not the one for kernel test and assert content trait. And it looks like they just copied a lot of this to a different trait. And that's what happened. Like anything that's deprecated in the functional test, a lot of it was moved to a content trait in kernel test. And I don't want to fix proper usages of the kernel test. That's where these bugs are possible. So get declaring source, Drupal, functional test, assert legacy trait. And this is what's working everywhere else. Or not, because are these all the ones that are failing? Let's look at the failures. Failures, construct field XPath. Yeah. Construct field XPath. Get all options. Get all options. Get raw content. Let me guess. Assert no unique text. Or is okay, hold on. Construct XPath. Get all options. Get raw content. But assert no unique text. This is not erroring out. Which do we have that? We should have a rector example for that. Fixtures, D9, examples. What is it called? Assert no unique text. Yo, hey Ryan, thanks for tuning in. Oh, you know what? I wonder if part of the bug is because these stupid stubs. Oh, and are you at why can't I ever remember the name of the coffee shop anymore? I always want to say Stumptown, but it's not Stumptown because it's actually the local one. I don't know. I'm also stuffy headed. Methodical. Yeah. Oh, just a Starbucks in the mall. Methodical. I thought maybe at Methodical. All right, so I need to figure out why this is happy, but not in the others. And thinking about it now, like having a fuzzy head and sick, and this was enough of a brain bender before. What's going on? Maybe enjoying an espresso slight exaggeration. Maybe. I mean, it can be good. All right, I need to look at this real quick. So we have our stubs in dev, but that's the only thing that's missing. If that's the main difference, is the stubs aren't missing from here. And we have the same issues. So let's keep that one issue open. Let's do a good old well, there we go. What did it seriously? Oh, never mind. Hold on. Shh. All right. Well, I'm an idiot on various levels. So it didn't work because my test was checking is equal to when it should have been not equals to. So that's why that was broken. So congratulations to me for screwing up a simple declaration. So let's see. Get raw content is fixed. Get all options is fixed. Options. Construct X field, blah, 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 path, rector. Man, I feel stupid. Oh, this is cool, this failure. So, actually, rector had a rule to fix a bunch of Symfony code, but it had an incorrect fix. It was doing get exception when actually the method is get throwable. That has now been merged. So let's find where rector's examples. Rector's example source, event subscriber, exception subscriber. This should be get throwable. Have a good one. Have fun with Minya frolicking around. I know you're going to dance in the Greenville fall leaves or whatever. All right, so I think this should fix this up. Let's commit this. Rector, github.com, rector, php rector. Oh, wait, is this their rector source? Pull request closed. Let's search for get throwable. Exception. Well, that's not it. Not rector source. Let's go to issues. Is closed. Author Laman. That's not it. What in the world? Oh, duh. Because it's not in rector itself, it's in rector Symfony. That's why. Let's look at 7 closed. So yeah, so this, it was returning get exception instead of get throwable. Fix get exception to get throwable. Let's see that link. Let's commit that one fix. We'll just push it in here. And then fix condition operator for source check. So we'll commit and push that. And I'm glad that I still can't believe that's what I screwed up. So let's look at here. All right, that is the silliest fix that I just had. So of course it was failing because it was equal to. It was a strictly equal to, and it needed to be strictly not equal to that class. So if it's not equal to that source, then bail. I had the reverse logic in, so now it should be good to go. All right, that should pass, which means I can now work on this phpstan-drupal fix, which, so the background is, it turns out when doing Drupal get container get or anything directly from the container was working, but calling Drupal service, it was breaking due to the fact that it says it returns mixed. And it was breaking the parent return from, or it was breaking phpstan from resolving what actually is returned from container get. So we need to create a dynamic return extension for Drupal service the same way we have one for the service container itself. Sounds kind of complicated, or is a mouthful of words, but we have this right here where we have service dynamic return type extension, where we have the service map, get class. Honestly, all I need to do is probably so if get has, I'm going to have to copy paste a lot of this because with Drupal service, it's always a get call. And this right here says if method reflection name is get, get class. Yeah, we can't make it too dynamic there. So let's go ahead and make a new branch. Drupal service return type. Let's do a Drupal service. Yeah, I guess we'll just say Drupal service dynamic. Oh, we already have service dynamic. So I want to rename this. Let's find out everywhere it's used. Let's close. Whoa, so many scratch files. Let's delete this Clover file. And let's rename this to be container. We'll just call it container dynamic return. Type invalid. So we have a container dynamic return, and we'll say Drupal service dynamic return type extension. PHP. We'll just do a good old copy paste. And then duplicate this, and we'll create the Drupal the Drupal service container. And now we just need to rename this. So this would actually be just the Drupal class itself. So we are going to ensure that calls to the static method properly return the return type from here. We have a return extension working for this method, but this return mixed just makes it crap the bed. So we're going to fix that. So is method supported? We're going to say service. Yep. Thank you, PHP Storm EA or whatever that. What was this module? This plugin called? There's the inspection tool that runs, and that is nice that it gave me that little refactor. Duplicated load node. Yes, I know it's duplicated. We're not in has. if method is get, if service, return type. So we're just going to cut all this out and post it here. And I think this is it. Now we just got to write a test. Actually, before I write the test, I need to see what version of Drupal I have on my local machine. I have phpstan set up that I can do integration testing with Drupal 9 and Drupal 8, but obviously only one at a time. So if I look at the static Drupal class, we're at 8.9. So that works out. Now what we can do is let's look at test fixtures, Drupal modules, phpstan fixtures, test service mapping. Why don't we just do it here? Function test. Call this test entity manager, test path. What is one of the classes? It's around entity or path alias, so deprecated invocations. Path alias manager to path alias manager. Let's just do that. Manager service rename. Manager equals Drupal service. And for core services.yaml. So we should get this deprecation message. Wait a second. Oh, extends the deprecated class. I just want to find, I want to make sure that I can call a method on it. Write cache, get path by alias. Let's say so let's do manager alias manager. That's right. Back to here. Write cache, get path by alias. Which is foo bar. All right, so let's run the test on here. And we'll see if anything works. Or rather, we should get a test failure for any test that runs on this. So if we go, if I look for this file inside my test directory, it says nothing, of course. Deprecation rules tests. Oh, here we go. I didn't paste correctly. All right, so the Drupal integration test, let's just run it. Oh, hold on. PHP version. All right, I gotta unlink. I gotta go back down to PHP 7.4 because Drupal 8 does not support PHP 8 due to backwards compatibility issues. So I'm gonna get that re-updated, and I'll tell. Now I need to remind PHP Storm. Groovy. So now if I run it, it should be all good. And so this right here, the test service mapping D8. And in, oh yeah, so in D9, this doesn't error. So that's one thing we had happen too, where, oh, if there's a service that's not found, we don't error out. That's one thing we'll have to report. New issue. Throw an error on missing on service names that are invoked but missing. Right now, Peach, there are no errors. There are no errors if you call entity.manager from the service container in D9. That is because we do not error when there is a service miss. We should throw an error. However, the problem is this would error on dynamically defined services and service providers or compiler passes. So the problem is we can't just throw an error whenever the service name isn't found, because there could be a dynamically defined one in a service provider. A good example of that is in commerce itself. If we can get to log. So in the log module, we have a service provider, and based off of installed modules, we register new services. So we would have to find a way to handle that. Otherwise, all of the commerce code would probably explode, maybe. Maybe not, because oftentimes I've seen this done to add event subscribers dynamically based on installed modules. So I'm not sure if this is something feasible or not, or maybe we have to just hard code it. Like, we know that you're on D9 and you're calling entity manager, so we should throw an error. I'm not sure, but I will comment that. Maybe we can add a list of known services to error on when a specific Drupal version is used, like D9 to return an error on when a specific, yeah, maybe we could do that. Oh, this is taking forever. So I'm gonna hit stop, because I know it's this test service mapping 8. And hopefully that's enough. And at this point, it takes so long to run locally, I'm just going to push it up to GitHub as well, because it runs in about 40 seconds on GitHub compared to here. Return type extension for Drupal service calls. Don't want problems. Run. Did this come back with an error? Actual size 5 meets 4. Right, well, that's promising. Give me the test mapping, Drupal integration test. Let's see, 5. I'm pretty sure it will be this last one. We'll see. And really, I guess this should go under the deprecation rules test. So we'll do that as well too. While that runs, let's check on our scope assert. Sweet. Just give a ping that looks good to go. Get our failure, undefined offset 4. Wait a second, what? For each errors as error. Oh, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotcha. So there we go. I need to add the core.services. Now I just need to copy this message. So service ID of path alias manager. It's deprecated for there. All right, so if I rerun it, we should get a pass. And then I can work on some more verbose tests inside of the deprecations error, but I think it may not be needed. I'm going to go ahead and commit these. Seven checks failed. What failed? Show me. Let's push it and do. Oh, the test failed? No. Oh. Well, I pushed it, and that's not even an error that came up. So the error was another Drupal calls should be avoided in classes. Use dependency injection instead. Not that the path alias manager was deprecated. All right. So that means something's not working. All right. So we should expect that makes this a little bit easier. Oh. That's not. This is not acting as we want it to. So what I'll need to do is let's go back in here. So yeah, it's sorry. So if the method name is service, return type, get the return type, method call args. If not is set, if there's no argument passed, we get the service. Let's run the debugger and hopefully be able to catch where this is failing. It's somewhere in here. That it's not returning and it doesn't know what to return. It's returning mixed, so it's not erroring because it just doesn't know how to inspect anything. One thing that I dislike about the duplicates viewer inside phpstorm is it warns you on two things, and I wish you could change it. Well, maybe you can. That you could just change it to be two, like once or three. Once this happened 3 times, then warn me. Don't throw an error, or don't show me this until after. Do not detect duplicates of that size. There it is. Let's see, global dependency injection rule. Whoop, whoop. Debug. Press play. So it looks like this Drupal return service type did not even get invoked. So I'm going to do a debugger again and go to the extension neon. So I added it. Why is this rendering as having been used? Why is this registering as in use? But not other one. Let's stop. The debugger. Okay, the debugger's running. Why is this not registered? Let's just go. Okay. Oh, here we go. So get extension type by class, closure, Drupal. So we have the Drupal core class. We have entity type manager and PSR container interface, which these are the 3 that we add. So let's hit play. So it's being registered. Oh, wait a second. Is method supported? It's a static class. I don't think that should matter. But is method supported? Union type, reflection get name. So if my name is null. All right, we're going to do some more debugging on this to see if I can figure out why it's not registering correctly. Get static. Oh, wait a second. Get static method return type for extension class. Is that because get dynamic return method, get static method return? Maybe I need to have a different return type. So let's go to the documentation. Discovering symbols. I think it's in here. Class alias, custom autoloader. No. Let's type class name. That's not it. Get static. Okay, here we go. So that's why. Because it's not I don't have any dynamic static return type extensions. So that's better than I thought. So it's dynamic return type, which means we need to have a broker. Developing extensions, custom rules, return type, dynamic return type, learn more. Static methods using dynamic return type extension interface. So this needs to be right here. Add stubs. Get type from static call. Well, this should be that makes sense why there's two different ones. So is static method supported? Cut that out. All right. So that makes sense why there's two different interfaces, because static call and method call, well, they have call like, but it's harder to, you can't target them specifically. And dynamic static return type extension tag. All right, let's see if that, hopefully this does it. Let's do another debug. I hope that will do it. And for Drupal, this is like a lot of what we need to have is we need to have a lot of reflection or dynamic return types. And I think even maybe this reflection is not what's always needed. It might be just we need more return types to find. Oh wait, let's see. So we should have extension, closure bind. No, that's not it. Drupal service. Okay, there we go. Drupal service return type extension. Press play. And we better end up in here. So I sincerely hope we do. So closure binding, get from type. There we go. All right, that makes me happy. So debugger, method call, return type is mixed. The default return type is mixed. arg1 is a string for path alias manager. Service ID, service. We were able to find the service definition. Return that object type. Press play. Run again. And what? Expected size 5 matches expected size 6. Wow. What in the what? As it says, call to entity service method is deprecated. You should use that instead. So we should be facing the same error returned here. Service get class or defaults to service ID. We're gonna have to debug and see what's next. Why is there two? Oh, wait. Oh, it's vendor bin. So I'm gonna real quick, I'm gonna go to vendor. I'm gonna mark the binary directory as excluded because it has a symbolic link to the phpstan-var, which is already being indexed. So we're getting duplicate methods. Here we go. Use element. Qualifier can be replaced with an import. Unhandled. Yeah, that's all expected. Hopefully, this is the magic ticket. So debug, debugger, path alias manager, service. Let's look at the service that was returned. Oh, this one says net no service. Public true, deprecated true. There's the alias. Oh man, I think I know what the next step is. So resolve type, object type is alias manager. That's the class name. All right. I'm just going to hit stop because we have one more step to check, I believe. So we have now the dynamic return type is fixed, but now we have a rule. Get deprecated service. So we have the dynamic return type, but now we need to update our deprecated rule check. So method name, method reflection. So this is the next part, is I need to make this handle both being fetched from the service container. Although I'm surprised that this doesn't catch because Drupal service goes and fetches from inside of this parent, but maybe because we're doing the return type, it's not catching. I don't know. So phpstan. I want to open the var, go to source and search for the clearing class is covered. So I wanted to try to clean up this code a little bit to match what's in phpstan itself. Is covered. There. So we'll check if it's get. So this is covered. Sorry. So let's make a private function is covered. We're going to take the method reflection. And we'll do the method reflection if this is covered, method reflection, we return an empty array. So if declaring class is equal to container interface, else if declaring class get name equal to Drupal, else return false. Return true. Oh, wait, actually, we'll return. This should be return. Method name is equal to get, which method reflection, get declaring class, get dot comment, method reflection name, go. So let's even consolidate this a bit down more. Service. So there, now we have it where this, okay, yeah, I guess this could be converted. So we'll split the workflows. There we go. So what this allows us to do is this is covered. We now can have one rule, get deprecated service rule. It checks, okay, it's a method call. Shoot, we can't do it because it could be a static method call. And method call is call like. Call like could be a method call or static call or a function call. So I guess get method reflection. Type with method has method. Method call return type. Is static method supported? All right, so this has, if it's a method call, otherwise. All right, so let's do call like. And if node, I really want this to be one rule. I don't want to make another rule just for this. So if node is not instance of method call, or node instance of static call, we will return but this is going to be unreachable because node is always, code above always terminates. Hold on. So instance of method call and static call always evaluate to false. Now in 1 second, let me do node expression method call. Why was it always evaluate to false? Result is, oh, sorry, should be an and. There we go. Static call var. Variable holding the object. Oh, man. Get type, get method reflection. Scope. Maybe this won't work. This is a method reflection, and then there is a no static. Scope, get method reflection. I want to see where this is used again. Unclassified analyzer, no rules comparison. All right. Scope called on type. Resolve type by name. So we need to find the get type. Impossible check that. Impossible called on type, scope, get type from var, which is an expression. And that's the node. So method call variable holding the object, static call class. Oh, the class name. There we go. Okay. I think that will do it. So let's find here. Like this is just duplicated though. No name to string. So if method reflection instance of node expression. All right, so if we check if it's a method call, or if node, we can safely do an else that method reflection equals scope get method reflection scope get type from node class name to string. Expression node name given. Parameter number 1 of node of method scope get type expects node expression node name given. Get type expression class should be an expression called on type var. That's not it. Static check called on type class. Class is instance of parser node name called on type, otherwise resolve type by name. So I guess we'll try that. That's not it. Oh, maybe we don't need the get type then. All right, so hopefully, I think this will do it. What? Why does it not complain about it here? Parameter 1, result type by name expects node name. When we get an expression or PHP parser node name given. What if I just expects phpstan type node name given. Get type from an expression. Oh my word. Name class is class. Here's this an expression. Method this get method. All right. So we do else. We'll say class equals node class I'm going to copy that straight from phpstan. And now it's happy. Whatever, I'll take it. So if is covered, method reflection. I think we should just do like that should get spun out to another method, but I won't do that. All right, let's run that test one more time with the debugger. And I'm going to pop a breakpoint here. And I think that should take care of it, I hope. So now we have one rule that handles all the things. And I wish I would have found these fixes earlier in the lifecycle of phpstan. Oh, what? Asserting that size 4 matches expected size 6, so we lost an error. How did that happen? Let's call like. All right. Maybe this grand idea does not work, and I cannot have it be all fancy. So we'll do get. We're just gonna do a copy paste. Drupal service deprecated service rule. I feel like I call it maybe static service. I'll say static. So in here, I'm gonna just roll back, or not all of it back. Static service call. So this is gonna be static call. Let me just do an assert node instance of static call. Yeah, I can revert because I did a whole copy and paste. So let's just do that. And now we just cut, paste is covered. We replace and just right. If the declaring class is not equal to Drupal, and we'll say, we'll do return array. We could say declaring class is not equal to Drupal, and method reflection get name is not equal to service. I guess that would be an or. So I'm gonna make them pretty much be identical, so that way they're easier to manage. So node identifier. This method is just service. Is covered. We'll delete. That's not used anymore. All right. I guess this will be, this is static service call. Okay, this isn't back to normal. And I need to edit the extension .neon. So that way we can do this for the static service call fetch. Now if I run the debugger, we should hopefully get all 6 errors. I hope. It's quite the fun. I wish there was an easier. I wonder if there's a way I could make like a trait to use. I think that's the next step, is just cleaning up some of these files to make more traits, to make these more reusable. But sometimes you just can't make stuff reusable. That's all there is to it. All right, so here we go. Get deprecated. So there's this test, which asserts the service name, which is, in this case, it's entity manager. So we've got that error back. So that's the first method in the test. So we should be hitting this one next. No. All right. Actual. Perfect. There we go. So the error we got was that the errors were out of order. So if I hit, I'm just going to hit play. We had the correct count. It's just the path alias deprecation came before the Drupal static call one. And let's go to the deprecation rules test. And inside our fixtures, I'm going to make a dedicated one for this. So Drupal modules, phpstan fixtures .module. This is probably going to throw a whole bunch of extra stuff that I don't want to test. So let's do, all right, the test passed. So let's make a new test module called new directory. Excuse me. Deprecated static service call. That's so long. Guess we'll just do it in here. Catches at level 0. Negative test. Add. Oh, but then, yeah, any test that goes, I'm just going to call that good enough. Before I commit, let's run my quality checks, which are somewhere in this mess. Oh, here it is. Let's run phpcs. That's okay. Let's run the phpstan analyzer. No errors. All right. I'll take it. Drupal service return type, Drupal integration test. and then the extension to fix the one return type. I'm going to do an amend. I'm going to amend my previous commit. Amend commit anyways, and I'm going to do a git push f GitHub PR create. Fixes 190. Awesome. So we now maybe fixed by 209. And we'll wait for these tests to pass. And if this passes, we'll now have a lot more coverage on services that are fetched via the static service fetch using the Drupal class, which is huge because a lot of people, let's face it, most people do not write the following. So most people don't do Drupal git container git. I do because it fixes autocomplete with the Symfony plugin. Most people do Drupal service and then get the service from that helper, and that is how they normally get the service so that it wasn't being detected. Let's see why did this fail in Circle CI? PHP unit. Test service mapping D9. Oh. What? Well, that's interesting. It failed on D9. Oh, because I've added a second I added a second call to Drupal static. That's why it failed. Let's do git status, git add test. I'm just gonna amend that as well. Do a git push force. All right, while that's building. So while this is going, I do want to plug that I have a new stream that's occurring on Thursdays at the same time. So Thursdays, 2 p.m. Central, Esteemed is sponsoring my work on phpstan for PHP 8 compatibility checks. So Wednesdays will be Drupal Rector, like Drupal-based tooling. And on Thursdays, I'll be working on phpstan and contributing to phpstan, which is the underlying groundwork for Rector and phpstan-drupal, which is a phpstan extension. So that's pretty amazing because if you're not aware, Drupal 10 will require PHP 8. They're not mini breaking changes, but one thing I found out is that phpstan doesn't report usages of deprecated internal functions. So like before you could just use the each function and that got removed. And now but it's never reported. And Drupal is the kind of code base that has old stuff like that. So that's where I left off. I started working on that like a month ago, but I just got busy and I fell off that wagon, and then I was approached for a sponsorship for that. So that's something new that's starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. So my schedule now is Mondays, I work on Simply Test Me at 2 p.m. Central. Wednesdays, I work on Drupal 10 readiness, or Drupal 9 and Drupal 10 readiness, thanks to Palantir at 2 p.m. Central. And then Thursdays at 2 p.m., phpstan development, thanks to Esteemed. So that, if you want to tune into that, it's going to be fun. I will probably lose my mind because phpstan used to be a lot simpler. It was always complicated. It used to be a lot simpler when I was first integrating with it, and I haven't been following its development, and it is much more robust now. All right, that merged, or that passed. I'm going to merge this. Let's delete the branch. And I want to see if there's anything else I can get in for phpstan right now. phpstan-drupal. Incorrect reflection definition. Let's just see what this is. Let's see. Plugin manager inspection rule. That wants, nope. Magic properties on field item list not detected. I'm not going to go too down that rabbit hole. I'm going to focus on things that have a high impact for upgrade status right now, since that's what the sponsorship is for. So let's go take a release. What's the latest tag? I gotta go. I really need to build tooling for automating releases on this. So git tag. Oh, hold on 1 second. Feature preview, releases, UI refresh. Make sure release notes look amazing. Let's see. I'll just make, yeah, it does make this a bit cleaner. So let's do, I guess I could just do it all from the user interface right here. So let's draft a new release. Or make a new tag. .12.15. We have a new feature, which is, where did that closed issue go? Let's rename this when deprecated servers are fetched using Drupal service. Let's retitle that to be a little bit more clear. And publish the release. Awesome. So again, I want to give a shout out to Palantir because of their sponsorship. The phpstan extension has received about, I guess these 2 releases. Was this part of it? No, that was on the side. But these 2 releases, 14 and the minor releases of 14 and 15, have been huge because they now support better detection of deprecated services being used, which is really, really big, and that was about 3 or 4 issues in upgrade status. So that's amazing. Let's see. I want to go to packages and see if, of course, that should be out already. This is the fix for Drupal service calls has been added to phpstan-drupal 0.12.15, right? That's the release name, which should finish coverage on, which should provide all the required coverage for detecting the excess of deprecated services. I'm going to copy this around to a few issues. There, and there's even a meta issue for missing deprecation testing coverage. I should comment it on there. So there's that. Let's go to that meta. Can you please run a composer update to get the latest phpstan-drupal version and verify. If so, we can bump the minimum version for upgrade status to include, I don't need to say include. All right, there's another one that's nipped. Let's see. Okay. So one neat thing or one tip is if the body of an issue has issue references, they don't automatically get updated because the rendered output is cached. So always look at the linked child issues. So add check ensuring that pre-render callbacks are closures or implement trusted call. I got an issue for that. Detect get response for exception event is deprecated in favor of. So I'm gonna mark this for phpstan. GitHub.com, phpstan, Symfony. Issues. I want to see if there's any report on this. Search. There's absolutely nothing. Why isn't it being reported? Oh, that's right. If you don't have the right Symfony, if the Symfony is not even updated, you can't know it's deprecated. So I'm going to skip that. Detect context definition to entity context definition, other deprecated. Those all have rectors at least. So I'm going to go through. Did I delete? I ruined my paste, my copy. So let's get that back. All right. Here's one. Here's another. Let's say. I want to find some way that I can link all these together. So I'm not going to edit the release. I'm going to go to this issue. Oh, wait a second. That's not the right. Oh, wait a second. This wasn't the right issue that I edited. Sorry, 1 second. I linked the wrong. Wait, did I close the wrong issue? Detect usages of changed service names. What did I just do? Git log. 190. All right. Let me fix. Let me regather myself for a moment. Edit. Issues. All right. 190. Resolves the following upgrade status issues. Try to get this organized a little bit. Update comment. I'm going to copy this. This was fixed in 190. See, so it fixes 192 related to 116. $190 fixed by, oh, this fixed so many random issues. All right. Let's triage this all over the place. Sorry. That didn't save. All right. So this fixed a myriad of issues that have been reported for the past few months. Let's edit. Content you're editing has been changed. Oh, it was just slow to update. All right. So that's fixed. Let me make sure I update 116 because this had, so I'm working on it. Fixed by 190. Fixes 192. All right, I commented on there. Let's see, 17. This is not on here either. Let's do an edit. So those are all marked as not fixed, but they should be fixed by this. Let's do a search. I'm going to search for alias manager since that's one of the issues. And entity.manager. There's nothing else in there. We have another phone, another service. Get title. Change the D9 title resolver. Get title request. Let's see. Argument 2 past the get title must be an instance of route. No, given. If route. Oh. Let's see. Let's link this. Anyone for those following phpstan-drupal. Ooh, Drupal 0.2.15 was released, which handles Drupal service calls for detecting deprecated services. Also fixes its return types, which could fix number 23, where phpstan is now aware that get title requires a non-null route. However, that wouldn't be caught in just pure deprecation checks. All right, I think that gets everything mapped up and ready to go. So let's find the next upgrade status issue to work on. Let's see, undefined offset 1. Oh, that's right. I started working on splitting out the twig analyzer. Refactor the state of the code. I think it's easier to manage, let alone easier to test with standalone analyzer. That said, I think you left a few unused statements in deprecation analyzer. Are they used for other things than the code removed? All right, let's follow back up onto this ticket. As far as I know, I'm done with that. Let's go phpstan-drupal sites contrib dev. Let's open up my contrib environment. Upgrade status. Should have this branch still checked out. Yep. All right. So twig analyzer. Yeah, so we can finally get your issue fixed and landed. If I could just some unused statements. I like the refactored code, easier to manage. I think you left some unused statements in the deprecation analyzer. That's it. I didn't clean that up. Index not ready. PHP toolbox. Let's do a. I'm going to get back to PHP 8 so that way I can have code sniffer run in the UI. I need to figure out why this failed too. All right. Is that the one unused? Now we got to run this upgrade status analyze test. We need this to be updated. 131. Oh, wait. I like the refactored. Okay. He did not. I thought it meant he changed something. Did not. So let's fix this test so we can get upgrade status. Let's see. Oh, did you make a merge request to my merge request? So I can just try to merge in this. Ah, here we go. Oh, I see. There's the sweet. So I could show commands. So if I do a, hold on, let's get fancy here. Get FP, fetch the upstream of, fetch that upstream and get merge. Oh, check out. All right, so if I do get merge from that upstream, that branch, and if I do push, that should, so now this has been merged into my merge request. No, it's all right. I mean, you're here and I didn't touch it beforehand and we caught that just in time. So I am, that works for me. Fix test, remove unused use. Sweet. Thank you for working on that. And then let me know so I can just merge it in. All right. And fixes the unused. So sweet if that goes through. One second. Always got to copy and paste usernames. I merged in that had our branch that had fixes. I think we're good to go. Sweet. That would be amazing to get that merged in. To be honest, I don't even remember what this was. Oh, it's to detect deprecations in Twig itself, or Twig deprecation. We detected Twig deprecations, but only Drupal deprecations, and it got weird when it was like from Twig itself, and we had to fix the regular expression. And to do that, we actually spun it out into its own analyzer, and we're able to write a Twig test to make testing it even easier. That was it. All right, so that's that needs review. Going to see if this works. CI watch. All right, we'll see. We'll let that ticker down. I'm going to pay attention when I drag it. So we'll let that little thing hang out right there. See if we get an alert when this test is done running, because it's just queued right now. So get revision author is not detected. I open an issue with the Drupal check project. Let's see. I need to move this. I'm going to transfer the issue to phpstan-drupal. Can you provide a failing code sample? I have a feeling that phpstan doesn't know that the object is actually a node interface object, but if you added type hinting, it would. I'd have a better idea after a sample. You know what I want to build? Oh, that's a typo. That's a sample. So what I think I need to build, and I could copy off of, just issue, moved it to phpstan-drupal. Oh, I actually don't know what happens when you move an issue, like the previous. What happens? Hold on. Does it redirect? Okay, it does redirect. Good. Which is where symbol discovery magic happens. Old issue redirects. Still. Let's handle. Can you provide a code sample so I can write a test? So what I think needs to happen is phpstan has this playground where you can pick the different levels and, strict rules, all this other stuff. I feel like I need to build something like this that takes a version of Drupal core and lets you test phpstan-drupal code. So somebody could could take this sample code and then put it in the playground, and the site knows to run it as Drupal code against phpstan-drupal. That's what I think I need to do. I think that would be a huge improvement. So maybe I'll put that on the Twitters to see if that's something I should work on. Because the playground, the phpstan playground, I could copy it from phpstan. It's using Breath, which is a library that that allows you to run PHP on AWS Lambda. So I could copy this. The hard part is the fact that I'll need to create an image that has various versions of Drupal. So I'll need to have a Lambda endpoint for all the major versions of Drupal installed. So that would be interesting, to say the least. But that could be, I think that's going to be needed as we adopt more and more of the static analysis of phpstan and phpstan-drupal. So, yeah, that'll be fun. I should put that needs more info, but that's okay. Let's see. Pre-render callback. I know I have a phpstan issue for that. Cannot declare class assertion filled error because the name is already in use. Yeah, I put feedback on there. I'll have to just ping Gabor what he thinks. Curl error when scanning through web. A year ago. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I don't even understand what's happening there. It's so how upgrade status works is you submit the form and it does a batch with a handful of oh. All right, well my code's just broken for that reporting. Failed? What? So when you submit the form, it does a batch and it does a bunch of internal HTTP calls, and I cannot grok that error message very well. So upgrade status analyzer test. We had this here. 131. Expected 4. Failed asserting at 3 matches expected 4. But isn't this what we just bumped? But don't we expect... Wait. Shouldn't this have a failure, though? Because that reports this assert not empty. Report. We're going to dump that report when we run this test. Let's see. I just need to do... Oh, not in here. I need to do phps. That's not it. PHP unit, localhost 180. So phps. Okay, to web. Let's run this test really quick. And I don't want to do a full scan. but I'm going to have to. Oh, jeez. All right, let's run the test. And I've got a var dump somewhere in here. So for some reason, so upgrade status test, the twig status test, this should be returning 4 errors because we have deprecated filter. It should be reporting the error for modules, update status test twig. So here you can see the batch of when it's scanning the individual projects. So spaceless. So this should be throwing a deprecation error. It's deprecated in 5.6.0. Oh, shoot. I think I remember the problem now. 5.3. It is due to the fact that it will pass on 8.9. I'm sorry, it only passes on D9, not D8. So dang it. All right, we're just gonna have to run through. Yeah, different number of errors and different number of versions of Drupal, which this. So if Drupal version major core is greater than or equal to 9, it should be 1. So we should have a baseline of 1. No, it should be 0. So it was 0, and it's saying in Drupal 9 it should be 4. Okay, so I should not be making that a 4 manually. 131. What here it even says fill this in at 3 matches expected 4. And on D9 says on line 132. Oh, base 2 files. Okay. All right. No. I think this just has to be fixed. So this base info error here, I think it just needs to be changed. Because there is 2 in Drupal 9, there's 2 files and 4 errors. So let's gonna do this. So if it's 9 else so it's 3 and 1, otherwise it's should be 4 and 2. I can't think of a way to make it work better in my brain. Okay, so it's closing, it's processing the reports. Or wait. I ran the test. Oh, here we go. Expected 4, actual was 5. So we have the errors here. It actually didn't take too long to run, 1 minute and 22 seconds. So let's dig in. So yeah, so the errors there should be 5 errors. So file errors, 5, and then files. Excuse me. Spaceless. All right. So I think that should do it. So 5 errors in D9 with 2 files. Assert count files. We have spaceless, and then we have test. Right, so that's matching up. I'm going to move all of this around into just a D8, D9 instead of trying to be fancy with it, because the first file here is spaceless in D8 or in D9. So let's just copy this out into D whatever this is, that's D8. No. Let's do how do I do this in phpstan-drupal? I do this in a certain way. I think I do file equals array pop. No, pop was pop. Pop is no, I don't want the stub. I want the definitions. Pops the element off the array. Nope, we want shift an element off the beginning. Yes, I believe this is how I do it in phpstan-drupal, where I use shift to get an item off the beginning of the array. So in here, we'll want shift files. So assert equals file 0 message. And we'll copy this text. And we'll try rerunning this. Right, because there should only be the one error message for that file. The rest has several others. But why is there 5 errors? That's the question. 5 errors. So there's one message here. That's the first error message. Template is a deprecated library. Twig test deprecated library. And module info YAML. Wait. Value of core version 8.9 is not compatible with the next major version of Drupal core. Is that because Drupal 10 is going to be ready? Is that what that error means? I don't know. I'm going to hit play and let's see if this gets us any closer. Okay, this also had a failure still. And this failure was on expected size 3 size 3 matches expected size 2 on 132, which was the number of files. Okay. So 3, 2. Is this gonna fail? Wait. Oh, it doesn't show the output. All right, we'll just have to wait and see. I guess this 0. I wonder if that is an error because that means it's not ready for, if that's a valid error because this is not, you're on 9 and it's not ready for 10. But we'll see what returns. 0 failed. All right, three errors because of the info.yaml. Let's play it. And that tests the D9 and D10 compatible. And just put it here. Hopefully this will pass, so I can get it back onto Drupal.org and run both tests for D8 and D9. All right, the test pass for D9. That's good enough for me. So let's commit this, get status, add test, get commit, split out error checks from D8, D9 to be more explicit. All right, so pushed for that, and I really hope this solves it, because it's just with on Drupal.org with Drupal CI, we can't run two workflows at once immediately. There's always just one workflow, and then you pick add test, because normally that is okay. But let's I can queue. Sorry, 9.2. Queued and queuing. All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on these later on. That's a wrap for today. Again, thank you to Palantir for sponsoring this time. It has been delivered some major improvements to phpstan-drupal around service container fetching of services, and just general triage of the upgrade status module. I just trying to wrap my head around the various issues. There's like 7 between phpstan-drupal and upgrade status. I wonder if Drupal check. I've been neglecting this issue queue. 46. Let's see. Meaningless error message. Test class. Create an inject command. Let's see. Oh, okay. So let me get a new release of Drupal check out. This will be fixed by the latest phpstan-drupal release. Actually, do I need to? I don't think there's a far for this anymore. I honestly don't know. No, I'm gonna just edit before I go. Let's make sure I do new branch. Where's the thing? phpstan-drupal. Let's do 5. Bump phpstan-drupal to ensures fixes for service container return type. Adds recent releases to improve service return types. Say, yeah, that's good enough. Make a merge request. I just want to make sure that this goes through. Create the pull request. And if I go to this, let me just ping them really quick. Lost car park. Try running composer update mglommen/Drupal check w to get dependencies updated and see if the warning displays. For all intents and purposes, I'm going to make sure I link these. And maybe I'll see if there's anything else in the Drupal check queue. There's stuff. Oh, dang, that's a lot of failures. Oh, that's right. You can't just update the JSON file. You got to update the lock. 1 second. Let's try to just quick fix this. And then I'm going to go. CD projects. No, we're at CD Drupal. Drupal check. Get checkout. Get FP. Terminal is still blocked behind my webcam. Get checkout. 2. Composer update. mglommen. phpstan-drupal. Get status. Get add composer.lock. Get commit. Get amend. Get push F. All right, so I'll do a force push there and make sure that goes through. We've got things running for that upgrade status issue, and I'm curious to see how far through it is. So thanks for tuning in. Again, thanks to Palantir, and I'll have a new release of Drupal checkout also for this. I'm pretty sure I don't need to tag a release for Drupal check for this update, but I just will, so that way people know. And yeah, I'll be back online tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central to work on PHP stand contributions as well. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.